It is a day that still stings the spirit of this great country. December 7th, 1941, 74 years ago today, a day which will live in infamy. Hundreds of Japanese fighter planes descended on the American naval base at Pearl Harbor in Hawaii. The result, 2 hours of carnage, 20 of our naval vessels and nearly 300 of our aircraft damaged and destroyed. Even worse, more than 2,000 American soldiers and sailors killed in the attack on Pearl Harbor. More than 1,100 others were injured. Within the days after the attack, several countries declared war on the United States, and years later, we joined World War II. Now, during World War II, you already know, a lot happened. But it wasn't just on the battlefield.
Of course, there were love stories involving smitten soldiers. Many of those flings faded as time passed. But in honor of Pearl Harbor Day, after 70 years, we want to share with you one love story that has stood the test of time. And even though the couple lost touch for 70 years, it seems like they're proving true love never dies.
All through my life, I have had this little thought of what if.
This question has been hanging in the back of Norwood Thomas's mind since 1944. It has to do with the future he imagined for himself and Joyce Durant, the young woman in this picture, who he fell in love with during World War II.
She was on this pedestal like a goddess, untouched, pure, unattainable.
The two met while Thomas, a member of the 101st Airborne Division, was stationed outside of London during World War II. Thomas can't quite remember exactly how long he and Durant dated, but they spent enough time together for him to know that what they had was special.
All I can say, it was long enough for me to become smitten, for me to decide that this is a girl that I want to marry and want to live with.
But unfortunately, love wasn't enough while a war was going on.
And that was shortly before the Normandy invasion, where all of a sudden, instead of seeing her the next week, I just didn't see her anymore.
After the war, Thomas returned to the United States and sent letters to Durant asking her to come to America, but she declined.
I went on and later met and married another woman, a good woman, who helped my mixed up head get straight, and raised, of course, 3 fine children.
Thomas admits he had a wonderful life with his wife before she passed away. And it wasn't until after her death that the thought of him and Durant's future managed to creep up back in his mind.
I feel that had she come, that my marriage would have been a success.
But their future together remained only a thought until a few months ago, when Thomas's son, Stephen, received an email from a man in Australia who happened to be Durant's son, Robert. Turns out, all the way on the other side of the world, Durant, who now lives in Australia, had been thinking similar thoughts and had her son do some research online to see if Thomas was still alive and willing to talk after all these years.
It was a great, a revelation.
Now, more than 70 years after their last meeting, the two are finally seeing each other again on a Skype call.
And this is Joyce.
Yes, I'm here.
The call lasted more than an hour. The two joked, talked about how much they have changed over the years.
So you can act like that young?
Yeah, boy. That's the one that would wink at the girls.
Yes, you did.
What they have been up to for the last 70 years, and even reminisced about their time together.
You were a lot of fun, I remember that. You were a lot of fun.
And while this is the first conversation the two have had in more than half a century, it isn't the first time they have laid eyes on each other since their last meeting.
Picture frame on my bureau, and I say good morning to you every morning.
But after the Skype call, they no longer have to rely on pictures.
They were able to say hello, eye to eye. This is a wonderful situation.
Though Skype hasn't quite fixed everything.
The only one big problem is I can't take you in my arms and give you a squeeze.
Isn't that incredible? Norwood would like to travel to Australia to visit with Joyce, but he has prostate cancer and he's not able to right now. If he gets better, though, he says he'll be there and then they can have that big hug.
70 years.
That's amazing.
Wow. Well, still ahead, something that might warm your heart almost as much. Could you be one of today's 3 winners in our holiday guide giveaway? You're going to find out next. Delmarva Life will be right back.